The world of maritime inspections has just gone through its biggest shakeup in decades. So today, we are diving deep into the OCIMF SIRE 2.0 program. This is a shift that's completely changing how every single tanker gets vetted, and it's moving us from just a culture of compliance to a culture of real safety.
So just think about that question for a second. The new SIRE 2.0 inspection? It's done on a tablet that's basically a black box. It is logging the inspector's GPS position, the precise time of every single observation, and get this, even their step count. This is not just some minor update. It's a monumental shift in transparency and accountability. The data doesn't lie, and in SIRE 2.0, there really is nowhere to hide. All right, so in this explainer, we're going to give you the complete picture. We'll break down exactly what SIRE 2.0 is, we'll explore the big industry shift that made it so necessary, and we'll detail all the crucial changes from the old VIQ7 system. And most importantly, we're going to give you some real actionable advice on how to prepare your vessel and your crew effectively. Now, for those of you who are new here, welcome. We are Mariner Pro. Our whole purpose is to provide clear, accurate information that you can actually use to excel in your maritime career. And to change this big, well, it definitely deserves a thorough breakdown. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the fundamentals in Chapter 1. Then, we'll get into that critical comparison between the old and the new systems. After that, we'll cover the 3 pillars that are the foundation of this inspection, walk you through the entire process from start to finish, and wrap up with practical preparation tips you can start using on board tomorrow. Let's get right into it. Okay, Chapter 1. What exactly is SIRE 2.0? To really get a handle on this new reality, we have to understand the problem it was actually designed to solve. The original Ship Inspection Report Program, or SIRE, was launched by OCIMF way back in 1993. And it was a response to some really serious concerns about substandard shipping. And you know what? For decades, it worked. But then, a critical industry analysis found a pretty worrying trend. While the hardware on ships was generally well maintained, safety performance had flatlined. The rate of incidents just wasn't going down anymore. This is the core reason for SIRE 2.0. Introduced in 2022, it's a complete digital and philosophical overhaul, and it's designed to break that plateau and push our industry to a whole new standard of safety.
So, here's the crucial point. SIRE 2.0 is a risk-based inspection program. It's a dynamic, digital framework that focuses on what actually causes incidents, evolving risks, technology, and this is the big one, human factors. So, for example, instead of just checking if a fire extinguisher is in its bracket, SIRE 2.0 asks, does the crew know how to use it effectively under pressure? Have they been trained on it recently? Is the procedure for using it clear and practical? See? That's the difference.
All right, let's move on to Chapter 2 and see how this new philosophy really translates into practical changes on deck. This is where we compare the old VIQ7 with the new SIRE 2.0, and we're going to focus on the core changes that directly affect you. Now, what's really fascinating here is just the sheer scale of the change. VIQ7, that was paper-based, right? A one-size-fits-all checklist with simple yes or no answers, and it focused heavily on the hardware. Well, SIRE 2.0 just throws that entire model out. It's fully digital on a tablet. It uses a dynamic, risk-based questionnaire with about 100 questions. And instead of just yes or no, inspectors now use graded responses, from not as expected all the way to exceeds expectation, which means you can have both positive and negative observations. The focus now is holistic. It's looking at hardware, process, and human factors all together. And this right here, this is the heart of the new system, the CVIQ, or Compiled Vessel Inspection Questionnaire. This isn't some static book anymore. It's a unique ship-specific questionnaire that's generated by a really sophisticated algorithm. And this algorithm looks at your vessel's type, its operational history, even past inspection data. And the result? No 2 inspections are ever the same. The focus is completely on the specific risks that are relevant to your vessel, right here, right now. Now, we'd love to hear from those of you on the front lines. Have you already gone through a SIRE 2.0 inspection? If you have, drop a comment with your rank and vessel type below. Let's share our experiences and learn from each other. All right, let's jump into Chapter 3, which is the foundational concept of the entire SIRE 2.0 framework, the 3 pillars. Understanding hardware, process, and human factors is absolutely essential for success. So, these 3 pillars, they provide a complete 360-degree view of a vessel's safety culture. First up, you've got hardware. That's the physical condition of equipment. Pretty straightforward. Second is process, which looks at how well your documented procedures are actually being followed in the real world. And third, and this is the biggest change, is human factors. This looks at the performance of your crew during actual tasks, and it focuses on competence, communication, and decision-making under pressure.
Let's dive a little deeper into human factors, because this is a real game changer. Inspectors now use what are called performance influencing factors, or PIFs, to assess why a task is performed a certain way. They're looking at things like teamwork, workload, fatigue, and stress to find the underlying issues, not just to blame human error. This marks a huge shift from work as imagined, what's written in the manual, to work as done. For example, work as imagined is the procedure that says a valve should be opened slowly over 30 seconds. Work as done is the inspector seeing a crew member rush and open it in 5 seconds because they're under pressure. SIRE 2.0 wants to understand why that shortcut was taken in the first place.
Okay, let's move to Chapter 4 and see how this all builds into the end-to-end inspection process. This is the SIRE 2.0 flow, and we're going to walk through every stage, from the pre-inspection prep all the way to the final report.
You can almost think of the SIRE 2.0 journey as a 3-act play, and it actually begins long before the inspector even steps on board. Act 1 is the pre-inspection stage, where the operator is uploading a ton of data online. Act 2 is the inspection itself. That's the onboard physical assessment using the tablet. And finally, Act 3 is the report, where the inspector validates all the real-time data they collected and submits the final report directly from the device. So the most important thing to know about pre-inspection is that operators now have to maintain 4 living repositories online. First, there's the Harmonized Vessel Particulars Questionnaire, the HVPQ. Second, the new Pre-Inspection Questionnaire, or PIQ. Third, a complete certificate repository. And fourth, a photograph repository with at least 33 mandatory up-to-date photos. Now, critically, all of this data has to be uploaded and declared accurate between 48 and 96 hours before the inspection is scheduled to start. So last-minute preparation, that's just not an option anymore. Thinking about those 3 pillars, what do you feel is the biggest challenge for your crew? Is it keeping the hardware in top shape? Is it ensuring consistent compliance with the process? Or is it demonstrating competence under that new human factors assessment? Let us know. Comment with just one word below: hardware, process, or human. And that brings us to our final chapter, Chapter 5, Practical Preparation Tips. We've covered the what and the why, so now let's talk about the how. How do you actually prepare your vessel and crew for success in this really demanding new regime? Here are 4 keys to SIRE 2.0 readiness. First, adopt an evidence and context mindset. You have to be ready to prove your compliance. Second, train for real-world tasks, not just memorizing answers to questions. Third, you need to maintain a transparent and robust defect reporting system. Hiding issues is a recipe for failure. Being honest and having a clear plan to fix things is what gets rewarded. And finally, and this is absolutely vital, make sure every crew member can explain the why behind every single procedure they perform. This quote, it just captures the new philosophy perfectly. In SIRE 2.0, competence is not just knowing the procedure, but explaining the risk it controls. It's no longer enough for a crew member to just do the task correctly. They have to be able to articulate to the inspector what hazard that action prevents, why the procedure is structured that way, and how it contributes to the overall safety of the vessel. That right there is the new measure of competence. Now, to help you with this, we're planning a follow-up resource. If you'd like to get a detailed preparation checklist that's broken down by rank, from master to rating, just comment SIRE 2 and your role below. Your feedback really helps us create the content you need most. So let's just quickly recap the key takeaways. 1. SIRE 2.0 is a risk-based digital inspection, and no 2 are ever the same. 2. It gives a holistic assessment by focusing on those 3 pillars: hardware, process, and human factors. 3. Preparation isn't a one-day job. It is a continuous process that starts with the data you upload. And 4, true competence is now defined by your ability to explain the why behind every safety-critical task. We really hope this deep dive into SIRE 2.0 has been valuable for you and your crew. Preparing for this new reality is a team effort, so if you found this useful, please do us a favor and hit that like button and share it with your colleagues. And of course, be sure to subscribe to Mariner Pro for more professional maritime training. As always, stay safe at sea.